Hello and welcome back to Triple Tech, and today we're going to be turning this into this. Now, to try and get cinematic lighting, we're trying to get a dark background. That is the ultimate aim here, with a nice flattering image on the face with a dark background to separate yourself from that background. Now, the first thing we want to do is to get rid of this awfulness. So first things first, let's get out the lights. Well, the first thing we need is one softbox. We have one right here. We have to turn it on. As you can see, this thing is rather bright. It is, however, quite far away and completely overexposing our image. So first things first, let's try and get this closer, and then let's try and compensate on the image. Let's up the ISO a bit, 500. That will be fine. Okay, so now we've got a pretty goodish looking image, I think. Okay, so let's try and position this thing nicely then, shall we? So, I want to get this as close as possible across the front of myself, looking straight at me. Hopefully, that works well. Like so. Now, we have a dark background, but this is not very interesting whatsoever. Now, unfortunately, we are a bit visible here, aren't we? So, I have a solution for that, and it's also going to make our image look a lot better and a bit more flattering as well. Right, okay, we have now changed lens, and we are now on a 50mm f1.8, or also known as the Nifty 50. So what have we achieved here then? Well, we've got the softbox out of the way of the image, that was the main thing. We've also got a shallower depth of field, which separates me from the background. Now, I do just want to show you something as well. Now, something else to keep in mind here is that I'm literally using my entire length of my room, pretty much, to the background here. Just to accommodate for this 50mm lens. Right, well, you might be thinking we're pretty much done here, but there is more we can do to get a more cinematic looking image. Having a dark background is all nice and good, but it can look a little bit like cheap TV. Now, we're going to try and change a few things to make this look a little bit more film-like, a bit more cinematic, and a bit less TV-ish. Now, the background behind me isn't very interesting, it's a bit too dark. We can add some colour while still maintaining that separation which we currently have. Let me show you. Alexa, turn on the bedroom lights. We've now got some colour. So as you can see, we've now got some Philips Hue bulbs in the background on, which can add quite a lot to your video. Philips Hue is amazing for video work. The frequency of their LEDs never seems to interfere like some LEDs, and the colour is just wonderful, and it looks great. Now, we've pretty much done this all with one light, and it looks very good. Let's try and add one more element just to try and make it a little bit more interesting. Let's try and add a hair light. So, we have one more little light just here. And we're going to set this up just behind me, but we are going to make sure it's also out of frame. Let's just turn this on. It's quite bright. Let's just lower the brightness of that down a little bit. Just a touch. That's the wrong one. There we go. Right. Right, that's lowered down a little bit, up it a little bit. Okay, let's keep that there and just see what that looks like in frame on our image. Are we in frame? Well, we are a little bit, but that's actually quite nice. But I think we can improve this ever so slightly a bit more. Let's try one more thing. We're going to try and put this right behind me without it being in frame at all, but just lighting me up. Let's just see what it looks like. A bit of experimentation. We like that, don't we? Let's lower this down a little bit. It's going to have to go quite a long way down. Quite a long way. Okay, so we've now got this set up directly behind me as I sit down. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, so this is now behind me. You can see it's just there. Move across a little bit. See, I want to try and stay center frame as well. This is an interview style sort of thing, but a YouTube vlog style thing. So not an interview looking across the camera and sort of being on a third, being a bit interviewy. But no, we're trying to be a bit more personal here. A bit more personal. This is YouTube we're talking about. Right, let's try and adjust this a little more. Let's lower this down just a tad. And move it across right into the center. That's what we like. Okay. So let's try and see what this looks like without. So this is with, and this is without. So this is with, and this is without. It might just add a little bit of border to me, just to separate me a bit more. But this is all styling and a bit nitpicky at the moment. But for a cheap one light setup, just this, and a little bit of interesting lights in the background, if you have any RGB light strips, or just some more lights in the background. It could be a desk light on the desk behind me. I could put one of them on, and that just adds a bit of interest and a bit of accent lighting to whatever object I might have behind me. So again, a little recap as to where we've been and where we are now. This is what it looked like before, and this is what it looks like now. So let's go over everything once again. First, turn off all those disgusting lights you might have in the room and start from scratch. Get your one light source and bring it towards you, very close. But also try and get a longer lens. It allows you to get your light closer, get a bit more of a softer light because you've got a bigger light source. Remember, softboxes are amazing. You can get them very cheaply. For about £20 you can get a softbox and then a very cheap bulb inside. You don't have to get the best bulbs to begin with. Quality of light is something you have to worry about afterwards, after you've learned quite a bit about lighting, because you're nitpicking when you get to these higher quality bulbs, and then when you go into high quality LEDs. That's for the future. This is when you're starting out on YouTube. This is what you want to use. So what do you think? Do you think we've managed to get the cinematic look, or do you think we failed? I hope you enjoyed the video. This was a beginner's guide to a very basic lighting setup for your beginning lighting extravaganzas on YouTube. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, do hit the like button below and subscribe. Leave a comment if you have any questions about any lighting tips you might have. I expect you all to be experts by now. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.